What if I told you that the very mindset that built the modern middle class is the same mindset silently keeping them from ever becoming truly wealthy? We're told work hard, save money, buy a house, invest safely. But what if those golden rules, the ones we inherited from our parents, were designed for a world that no longer exists? Because here's the paradox. The middle class followed every rule, yet somehow they're drowning in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, and relying on credit cards to survive. So the real question is, if hard work and education don't guarantee wealth anymore, what does? Let's uncover why the middle-class mindset, once the engine of prosperity, has become a financial trap, and how the wealthy quietly play by a different set of rules. To understand the middle-class mindset, we need to go back to where it began, the post-World War II economic boom. The 1950s and 60s created something new: stability. Factories were hiring, unions were strong, mortgages were affordable, and a single income could buy a house and raise a family. This was the birth of the American dream, a dream powered by structure and security. The formula was simple: get a stable job, buy a home, save diligently, retire comfortably. It worked for a while. The middle class exploded, consumerism boomed, and a generation believed they had cracked the code to lifelong security. But this mindset, built for an age of industrial growth and predictable inflation, was a product of its time, and time was about to change everything. Through the 60s and 70s, this formula wasn't just popular, it was rational. Banks paid 6 to 8% interest on savings, college tuition was cheap, pensions guaranteed retirement income, and job loyalty paid off with security. The middle-class mindset, play it safe, don't take risks, and be responsible, was the right advice for an era where the system rewarded predictability. But then, something happened that quietly rewrote the rules of money. In 1971, President Richard Nixon took the U.S. off the gold standard. From that moment, money was no longer tied to anything physical, it became debt-based. Governments could print endlessly. Inflation was born into the system itself. The middle class didn't realize it yet, but the game had changed. The rules that once created wealth would soon become the rules that destroyed it. Fast forward to the 1980s. The cost of living began outpacing wages. College costs doubled. Housing prices exploded. But the middle class didn't panic. They adapted. They worked longer hours, sent both parents into the workforce, and borrowed to maintain the illusion of progress. Debt became the new currency of survival. Credit cards, mortgages, car loans, each sold as tools of the American dream. Meanwhile, the wealthy began shifting their focus from labor income to asset ownership. They weren't saving money, they were buying money-producing assets, stocks, real estate, businesses. While the middle class saved, the rich invested. While the middle class feared risk, the rich leveraged it. And that's when the gap became irreversible. By the 2000s, the middle class playbook had turned into a trap. Let's break down why. 1. Saving lost its power. $1 in 1980 had the buying power of about $3.60 today. So every safe dollar in a savings account was quietly losing value. 2. Homes became speculative assets. Once considered a safe investment, homes became debt traps when banks began selling riskier loans. The 2008 crash proved it. Middle-class wealth was built on fragile foundations. 3rd, education became debt. In the 1950s, college was a ticket to opportunity. Today, it's a ticket to lifelong payments. The average U.S. student loan debt in 2025 is over $39,000. 4. Retirement systems collapsed. Pensions disappeared, replaced by 401ks that depend on the stock market. The risk shifted from the system to the individual. So the middle class, once the symbol of stability, became the shock absorber for a volatile economy. They still followed the same rules, but the rules no longer worked. Every few decades, the system offers fixes. Politicians promise tax cuts. Banks offer better savings accounts. Financial gurus preach budgeting and frugality. But all of it misses the core issue. The middle-class mindset isn't broken because of bad habits. It's broken because it's outdated. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The middle-class system was built for a world of linear growth, but we now live in a world of exponential change. Technology, automation, and financialization have created a new economy where information moves faster than wages, capital compounds faster than savings, and algorithms can outtrade entire workforces. In this new reality, effort alone can't keep up. The game isn't about working harder, it's about owning the systems that work for you. Let's look at the numbers. Since 1989, the top 1% have gained over $30 trillion in wealth. Meanwhile, the bottom 90% lost $900 billion. The median American income has grown just 13% after inflation in 30 years, while housing prices have risen nearly 200%. 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, even though we're in the most prosperous era of human history. This isn't a failure of work ethic, it's a failure of the system and of the mindset designed to survive within it. The middle class was trained to earn and save. The wealthy were trained to own and multiply. The difference is exponential, and it compounds with time. So, how do you break free from the middle class mindset? Here are 3 hard but powerful takeaways. 1. Don't just earn, leverage. The middle class trades time for money. The wealthy trade ideas, systems, and capital. Ask, how can I make my money, skills, or content work while I sleep? 2. Don't just save, own. Money loses value. Assets grow value. Own things that produce income, stocks, rental properties, digital assets, intellectual property. Every dollar should have a job, not sit idle. 3. Don't just consume, invest in adaptability. The future belongs to learners. AI, automation, and global shifts will erase jobs faster than ever before. Wealth now belongs to those who adapt faster than inflation. Knowledge is the new leverage. The middle class wasn't created by greed. It was built by good intentions. It was a product of an era where security was possible through loyalty and discipline. But today, that same mindset is outdated, like using a typewriter in the age of AI. You can't build exponential wealth with linear thinking. So the next time someone tells you to just save more or buy a house and you'll be fine, remember this: we're no longer in the age of stability. We're in the age of leverage. And if you want to rise above the financial noise, you have to stop playing by the rules of the middle class and start thinking like the architects who built the system itself. If you found this eye-opening, hit subscribe, because in the next episode, we'll uncover how the wealthy legally use inflation to get richer, while the middle class pays for it. The middle class mindset built a generation, but to survive the next one, you'll need a whole new playbook.